All right, guys, so we were just talking about the new interior on the live video tonight, and I just came across some new information that it was leaked via GM, so I figured I'd throw it out here real quick in the video for you guys. For those of you who don't know, the 2026 model year for the C8 Corvette is bringing an interior refresh and some differences to the interior as we know it, and now there is actually an image posted up in the new GM parts catalog for 2026 model year showing what that new infotainment system is going to look like. We talked about it on the live video tonight about how I had seen some pictures of it actually in action showing a much bigger screen and a higher resolution display, and tonight we actually get a leak from GM in that catalog showing all of it off. So anyway, guys, let's jump right into this one. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Horsepower Obsessed. My name is Justin, and this is the channel where you can get all of the information for a Corvette, whether it's maintenance items, rumors, leaks, ownership experiences. If it's Corvette you want, Corvette you shall get right here. Like I said, I did come across the actual illustration from the GM parts catalog for the 2026 model year, and sure enough, it's showing the new interior. So without further ado, here's the image. As you can see, this is directly from GM. It looks like it was just uploaded and made public, but it has been uploaded for roughly a month and a half at this point. So GM already knows exactly what this interior is going to look like. If I had to guess, this was made public by accident. We are not supposed to see these things yet, but thankfully for you guys, I was able to grab it really quick and throw it up in a video here. So what we're looking at, a bunch of different things here. We've already seen some of the center console changes and some of the interior changes that are coming to the car otherwise, but now we have some actual images showing the differences that we're going to see on the screens, which in my opinion is one of the biggest changes, one of the best, more looked forward to changes in my opinion. So right off the bat, you can see that infotainment system screen is much larger. There is barely any bezel on it at all. So if I had to guess, that's going to be a 10 to 12 inch screen, and that's going to be much needed. I think the screen in the C8 Corvette currently is a little bit too small, especially with the giant bezels that go around it. I've seen this particular screen in the on state, and it definitely has very minimal bezels with a much higher resolution screen to it. But now we can actually see the screen itself mapped out here. You can see it's more elongated, and the one thing that I really am confused about here is the fact that out of everything they moved, they decided to not move that volume button. The volume dial button, whatever you want to call it, is in one of the most inconvenient places of anything in the interior. That really should have been moved to the bottom right or even the top right for a much easier access. But anyway, the screen is bigger, it's higher resolution, and if you look right down below it, you can actually see the new buttons. So these are the buttons that have migrated over from the big center wall of buttons because they are deleting that. That's going to be gone. It's going to now be a grab handle right there, and all of the buttons are going underneath the infotainment screen here. You can make out some of them, and the ones that I can make out are like the defroster buttons and things like that, but I've seen these in person. They are for your heated and cooled seats, the defroster, and where to move the air flow to as far as like on your feet or on your face and all that stuff. That's right down below the HVAC system now. Moving over to the left a little bit though, we have our typical speedometer, which is actually a little bit bigger than it is currently in the C8s, and from what I could tell, again, a little bit higher resolution, but mostly unchanged for that center speedometer area. Right above it, the hood that sits on top of it is slightly redesigned as well. It sits a lot flatter than the current one does. The current one kind of bubbles up a little bit towards you. This one sits much flatter to allow you to see way cleaner over the dash. But the more interesting part is to the left of the speedometer. There is an additional little screen that will house some important information. So you'll have an additional screen in conjunction to your typical speedometer area on the left part of the dash. So for this particular image, that's really it. That's really the changes that we're seeing for the new 2026 model year. We have a new infotainment system. The buttons are being moved from the center stack to underneath the infotainment system. The speedometer area will be slightly larger with higher resolution with a little screen added onto the left side, and the hood on top of all of it is flattened out a little bit. Now, what's not pictured here, and I haven't seen pictured yet anywhere else, are the other interior changes that are coming to the center console, where there's going to be exposed cup holders that are colored to the specific color of your interior as well. I can't really show any pictures of those. I was asked to take those down because I did manage to get those pictures from somebody actually inside of GM. But they are exposed cup holders in whatever color your interior would be. So if you're getting adrenaline red dipped or any of the newer colors that are coming out, because there is going to be a red and white variation, the cup holders will match that color. But there is no door over them now, so they are exposed 100% of the time. With that said, we have the transmission controls that are are staying largely unchanged. So your park, reverse, drive, neutral, manual, all of that will stay similar. And then right down below those will be another cutout for your magnetic ride select mode. So there's going to be, instead of a dial like there is now, it's going to actually be a switch that you can push up or down and it will cycle through the modes. So you'll have your typical tour, sport, track stuff that it will be done with a switch instead of a dial. That will be located right down below the transmission controls. Up where the magnetic ride control used to be with the dial is now going to be your wireless charging pad. It will have a little pillow on the top that you can actually slide your phone underneath, so it will kind of lock it in place for those heavy turns and keep your phone charging on that pad. Those pads are also going to be colored to specifically the color of your interior. So again, if you go with like a red or natural dipped or anything like that, that pad will be a different color based on that. Right beside the pad will be the new grab bar. Instead of a wall of buttons, there's going to be a grab bar similar to the bar that we see in the C7 Corvette. That's going to be located right there instead of the wall of buttons. Outside of that, that's pretty much the changes. The interior change is not going to be revolutionary by any means. It's not going to be massively different. Those changes plus a couple new colors, one of them being more of a cobalt blue, almost looks purple, but not quite hysteria purple. And there's also a red and white combination color coming. Those are the only two that I've seen so far. Other than that, that's the changes. There's really nothing earth-shattering here, but I wanted to bring this out to you guys because it just leaked on the internet. So there it is. That's what we know about the interior refresh so far. So hopefully we hear a little bit more at the bash, but I'm not holding my breath that GM's going to give us that information just yet and kind of kill 2025 sales. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, guys, if you liked what you saw here, please smash the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and as always, stay obsessed.